Yup, what's going on, y'all? This past week, Nintendo dropped a new partner showcase to go over third-party games coming in the near future. I wanted to put out my quick thoughts on this partner showcase and get a feel for more casual, conversation-styled videos. Before getting into some of the specifics announced, it's important to highlight the overall message this partner showcase sent to fans. Third-party companies seem to be taking the Switch and Switch 2 seriously as viable platforms for simultaneous releases. There were also some announcements that could have been made in other places that were saved specifically for Nintendo's audience. Whenever a partner showcase is announced, fans usually have tempered expectations, so the fact that there were actually genuine surprises this time around was pretty nice. One important note to make is that I won't be going over every single announcement that was made here, just in an effort to keep the video at a reasonable length. If you would like to see every single announcement listed out, I'll have a link to a Game Informer article in the description below. But before getting into more, if you've been enjoying my videos, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment. Every bit helps the channel out a lot, so thank you. Alright, so let's get into some of the announcements. The showcase kicked off with another look at the game Orbitals, which was announced to be coming in summer 2026. This co-op game had its debut at the Game Awards, which happened last December. The game looks pretty fun, and it should be great for anyone that was a fan of It Takes Two or Split Fiction. Not much else to report on it. They showed off some more gameplay. The graphics look amazing, and it's pretty cool that this is coming specifically to the Switch 2. Would be nice to see this show up on Steam or other platforms later on, but it's clear that the developers really want to focus on Nintendo first and foremost. Tokyo Scramble is a horror game focusing on dinosaurs and other weird monsters that'll actually be coming out next week on the Switch 2. This game seems like your standard survival horror fare with a cool multiplayer twist where some players will be controlling the camera, others will control the character, so on and so forth. For more details, definitely check out that game's trailer. Moving on, Hollow Knight Switch 2 Edition was shadow dropped, and it was announced that it would be a free upgrade for people that own the game already on Switch 1. This update brings smoother frame rates, higher fidelity, and is overall just a pretty nice update to have. It was announced prior, but it's cool to see it here. The Super Bomberman collection was announced and shadow dropped during the Direct. This is a pretty nice announcement coming from Konami because it's one of the only non-Castlevania collections that they've released recently, and it includes never before released translations of Super Bomberman 4 and 5. So if you've ever been into Bomberman, definitely check it out. Square Enix announced that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will be coming to the Switch 2 in June, which is a huge announcement considering Remake just came out last month. For Final Fantasy VII Remake series fans, this is a nice hint at what we might be seeing throughout the rest of the year. Rebirth will drop on Xbox and Switch 2 a couple days before Summer Games Fest. So hopefully Square Enix can get Rebirth out of the way and show us something new during that event. The new Archives games announced are pretty cool to see as well because they open up the floodgates for other PS1 games to hit the Switch. I'm looking forward to hearing about more of these games coming out in the future. Bandai Namco announced that Digimon Story Time Stranger will be coming to the Switch 2 this year. This announcement is pretty big because it'll be the first time that a console port of this game will receive a 60 FPS mode, which even the PS5 didn't have. They later announced that this update will be coming to the PS5 and Xbox Series consoles at a later date. The presentation closed out with a couple of announcements from Bethesda, and people didn't really seem too excited about that, but it is nice to see a pretty high-profile Western developer giving it their all when it comes to Switch 2 ports. Let's see if we'll get some new games announced in the near future. Now, some of the companies featured used some of the showcase time to go over games that were announced last year as well. Monster Hunter Stories 3 was featured in a different partner showcase and looks to still be pretty awesome. Pre-orders went live during the presentation and a demo for the game was also dropped. Capcom also dropped a demo for Pragmata, the new third-person shooter coming out this year on all platforms. This demo is a great showcase of Capcom's advancements with the RE engine and runs pretty well on the Switch too, all things considered. Circling back to Square Enix, they announced the release date for The Adventures of Elliot and showed off a little more of the gameplay, along with some of the changes they made since the last demo. Definitely looking forward to this one, as a fan of 2D top-down Zeldas. Now, despite everything announced during this presentation, there were a couple things that we expected to see updates on that we didn't see. A major one was Elden Ring from FromSoft. That game was supposed to come out last year and ended up being delayed, and everyone was expecting to see it at this presentation. It's pretty surprising that that one fell through the cracks, but hopefully we'll hear more soon. Borderlands 4 is another one that was supposed to come out last year from Gearbox. At this point, it's anybody's guess when this game is going to come out, seeing as before the presentation, Gearbox dropped an announcement saying that production has halted for this game on Switch 2. And surprisingly, Sega and Atlus had no presence at all at this partner showcase. Metaphor was a highly rumored game that was dropping that never showed up. And none of the new announcements that Sega made over the past couple years made any appearances during this presentation. Hoping to hear more from them soon, since we're a bit overdue for a new Sonic game, and it'd be nice to get some more Yakuza love on the Switch too. Metaphor was also one of the best RPGs to come out in years, so it'll be awesome to have it on the Switch too eventually. Overall, it was a pretty solid partner showcase in my opinion. It seemed like there was a little bit of something for everyone, and announcements like Rebirth coming in June and the Super Bomberman collection were huge highlights for me. Super Bomberman 4 and 5 getting an English translation is something that Bomberman fans could have never expected. The collection isn't perfect and is missing games like Saturn Bomberman and the N64 Bomberman games, but with the reception that this collection is getting, I can see Konami doubling down and coming back with some more collections. But yeah, did any of these announcements really surprise you, or was it all pretty par for the course? Was there anything you were expecting to see? Go ahead and leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking. The Switch 2 hasn't even been around for a year yet, and it seems like developers are taking it pretty seriously, so we should expect to see some big games coming in the next year or so. But this partner showcase was more of a calm before the storm, that is, a real Nintendo Direct, which I think could be happening within the next 2 to 3 weeks. But until then, thank you for watching. If you like this, leave a like. If you want to subscribe, go ahead and do that. And I'll see you some other time. Peace.